how is it possible to be smart, capable and driven and yet still have no idea what to do next in your career? You have tried everything. You've read the most recommended books about changing careers, you've taken career and personality assessments, you've spent hours identifying your strengths and so on and so forth. And yet, nothing is coming up for you. You are still stuck. No matter how much research you do, no matter how much time you spend trying to figure this out, you are getting nowhere. And now you're exhausted. You're tired of thinking about this, tired of feeling stuck, tired of waking up every Monday morning, dreading another day, another week in a job that you do not want. And the worst part, you don't know what else to do. And it's not like you haven't been trying, you have. You've been reading the books, you've been reflecting, you've been analyzing, doing everything that should bring clarity. But what if the real reason you're stuck isn't because you haven't found the right answer, but because you've been looking for answers in the wrong places? You've been searching for answers, trying to come up with different ideas, hoping that finally something feels right, but nothing does. The more you search and research, the more frustrating it gets. And instead of feeling closer to an answer, you feel more stuck than ever. And the longer this drags on, the worse it gets. Your confidence is eroding. You're starting to wonder if you'll ever figure it out. And if you are honest with yourself, that thought terrifies you. Because this isn't just about feeling stuck anymore. Every week that passes, you are losing precious time you could have spent moving forward. Every month that goes by, it gets harder to believe that a change is actually possible. And the longer you stay in this cycle, the more it drains your energy, your motivation, your happiness, and your well-being. And the worst part? You don't even realize what's actually keeping you stuck. Because the problem isn't that you haven't found the right answer yet. The problem is that you've been searching for answers in a way that guarantees that you won't find them. And the reason for that, it all comes down to one simple but powerful way your brain is working against you. It's called the availability heuristic. This is a mental shortcut your brain uses to make decisions faster. Instead of analyzing every single possibility, your brain prioritizes whatever comes to mind most easily. It does this to conserve mental energy, because if you had to carefully weigh every single option or possibility, you'd never get anything done. And most of the time, this is extremely useful. It helps you quickly choose a restaurant for a night out, react to danger, or make snap judgments in everyday situations. But when it comes to changing careers, it backfires badly. Because your brain isn't prioritizing the best career options, it's prioritizing the most familiar ones. The industries that you've worked in before, the job titles that you've seen the most, the careers your friends, family, or colleagues have. Your brain filters out everything else before you've had a chance to explore it properly. So when you sit down and think, what else could I do? You're actually not looking at all your options. You're only looking at what is familiar. And if nothing in that familiar list feels right, well, it's not because there's nothing out there for you. It's because your brain isn't servicing the right options in the first place. And this is why you feel stuck. Because the best career path for you might not be even on your radar yet. And by the way, if you're finding this video helpful so far, can I please ask you hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps this video get out to more people, and by subscribing, you won't miss any future videos to help you move forward in your career. Now, if there's just one thing I want you to take away from this video, it's this. You are never, never, ever going to think your way into clarity. You're never going to figure this out in your head. Not because you're not smart enough, or because you haven't tried hard enough, but because this isn't a problem you can solve in your head. The clarity that you've been waiting for, it doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Right now, you're waiting to feel certain before you take action. But certainty comes from action, because the only way to know if something is right for you is to experience it. That's it. That's the shift. Stop thinking and start doing. Even if you don't feel ready, even if you don't have it all figured out, because the alternative, spending another 6 months or another year going round in circles, trying to think your way to the right answer, well, that's not fun or effective. So here's what to do instead. I won't leave you guessing, because the last thing I want is for you to end these videos with even more questions. Step 1. Identify one thing that you're interested in. Not a passion, not your life's calling, just something that you are interested in, something that sparks your curiosity. Maybe you're drawn to psychology. Maybe you keep reading about UX design. Maybe you've recently developed an interest in the circular economy. Don't overthink it. Just pick one thing that sounds interesting to you. Step 2. Explore it by doing one of these 3 things. 1. Have a curiosity conversation with someone who works in this field. Not to ask them if someone like you should do it, but to get a real, unfiltered view of what their world is actually like. So ask them, what do they love about it? What's challenging about it? What is surprising about it? And what do they know now that they wish they had known when they first started? These conversations give you valuable insights and expand your knowledge and understanding of the ins and outs of this field. The more you speak with people who work in this field, the more this career can start to feel like it's a realistic option. Because right now, it's probably unfamiliar territory. So your brain has filtered it out. Talking to people who do this kind of work, who work in this field, helps make it more familiar and bridge that gap. 2. Sign up for a short course or workshop. Not because you've decided that this is going to be it, this is going to be your new field of work, but just to see if you actually enjoy learning more about it. Something can seem interesting in theory, but engaging with it firsthand will tell you a lot more. So if you are curious about coding, take an intro class. If marketing interests you, enroll in an online digital marketing course. If you've been drawn to interior design, go to a weekend workshop. You'll get a better feel for what it's like and whether you want to explore it further. 3. Try it out in a small, no-pressure way. The best way to know if you'll enjoy doing something is to actually do it. If you are curious about writing, start writing articles on medium.com. If coaching interests you, offer free sessions to a few people after you've attended an intro workshop. If photography excites you, start taking photos and build a small portfolio. You are not making a final decision here. You're just experimenting, gathering real experiences so you can figure out what feels right. Remember, it's action that breeds clarity. Clarity is the end result, not the starting point. So start taking action, however imperfect, and you'll start to feel less and less stuck. And if you don't want to do this alone, if you want a clear, structured framework to make this process easier without the stress of trying to figure everything out yourself, that's exactly what I teach inside Pivot Like a Pro. Inside Pivot Like a Pro, I'll walk you through the exact step-by-step system to get clarity about your next career move in just 90 days. Explore new career paths, test them out in a low-risk, smart and strategic way, and start moving forward without risking your financial stability or starting from scratch. You'll go from feeling stuck and overthinking to taking clear, confident action. And instead of wasting months second-guessing, you'll have a proven framework to help you make a career move that aligns with your strengths, your values, your existing skill set, and the life you want to live. It's, quite frankly, the program I wish existed when I changed careers. So if you're ready to stop feeling stuck and want to start moving forward, click the link below to check out Pivot Like a Pro. Or if you're not yet ready, check out this video in which I explain why you might have been feeling super frustrated at work recently.